And that just shows you what a peach borer looks like. And he's not a very big one. Well, hey you guys, welcome back to another peach video. And I thought today we'd take a look at a tree that has been suffering for a couple years. It has taken a lot of peach borer damage. I want to go through and show you guys what can happen to a tree if the peach borers get going a little too crazy on it and they get going to town. And it's going to be a very sad day for this tree because we're probably going to end up cutting it down, and we're going to do another video on that too. But today I want to tell you a little bit and show you, take a tour of the tree and kind of see what has happened to cause us to make that decision. So I'll start out by telling you just a little bit about this tree. I planted this tree in 2012 at the old house here where my parents live. And so this tree is about 13 years old. And it has been a very productive tree for a long time, and it happens to be on the south side of their brick house right here. And so this tree has always put out fruit 2 weeks earlier than every other tree of the same variety. Now the variety of this tree is what's called an early red haven. So it's supposed to be a couple weeks, 14 days, 10 days earlier than the red havens that come on. And usually for us here where we're located, that can be anywhere between July 4th and July 20th. It just depends how the season goes. Before these houses were built here, this was a big orchard area in this area, this region we're in. So it was really prime ground for peach growing. And that's another reason that we decided to put this super early variety in their yard, because it was even earlier for us. It's been a very helpful tree to us when we go to the farmer's market and sell at our fruit stand and the different things we do. So it's been a great tree. So we're very sad to have to do this, but the peach borers got going crazy on it. Another thing about this tree is that it's kind of in their yard here, and you can kind of see the lawn around it, and they have flower beds and shrubs and all sorts of things that they have in their garden here and we have about 10 trees here. But this one has been a bit of a pain for them too. Not only has it taken a lot of damage from the borers this past year, but it's also been a bit of a trouble getting around it. It wasn't pruned quite high up enough for them to be able to work on their flower beds very easily and mow around it. So now I want to show you a little bit of the damages that have happened from the peach borers. The first thing that I want to show you is up high. I just want to show you some of the branches. And if you follow the branches up, let's follow this one to start with right here. Now, it has some sunburn on the trunk right here. And part of the reason it has some sunburn on this one and even this one over here is because you can see we've made some cuts here to try to save the tree, and some major cuts here too with some of the branches that were blocking the southwest sunlight, which of course in the summertime here in the afternoon southwest sun is the hottest. It's really hot. So the tree kind of lost its shading ability on that side, and that was a lot to do with the peach borer damage, because these limbs had been killed off and withered away because of the damage that has been taken down at the trunk and down at the roots. So now we're continuing up this branch, and we're just looking at some of these things, more of the sunburn on the southwest. So up here now, you see these branches up here, and you probably can tell without me even telling you that these died during the summertime. They didn't shed their leaves because their leaves curled up in the heat. And so these branches on this whole limb, this whole scaffold, have been killed off and is dead already. So that's, again, resulting from the damage it took down here at the trunk, which we will look at in just a minute. Let's go up this other scaffold here too. We have another main one that wides off and comes out towards the south. And if you look at this one too, we were trying to invigorate the tree by giving it heavy pruning after all the damage it took. So this has happened in about 2 years. The results of the peach borers getting out of control down there. And so this one up here is dead and killed off too. And we have some on this one that are still alive and some that are killed on this one. So we have kind of a mix on that one. And if we come over here to the eastern, one of the eastern scaffolds, you can see the leaves again, where this died way back in the summer. It didn't even make it that far. And it's kind of mixed on the, over on this other one we have too. It's kind of some are alive, some are dead. So with that being said, we might have 25 to 30% of the tree that is still alive. We probably have 70 to 75, maybe going on 80% of the tree that's already been killed. Those are some of the damages up here that are all indicators that the tree is already on its way out. And so I don't think we're at the point where we can do very much for it. I'd like to come show you the trunk now and take a look at the actual damage that has taken place over 2 years. One of the indicators that you have a real peach borer problem, and maybe even over a few years, is you will see a big mushrooming effect out here. And what's happening is the tree is trying as hard as it can to heal and push the bugs out and heal, and it's got all these different knobs forming. It's trying to do everything it can to help the situation. It's trying to even get down into the dirt, and it's trying to recover the skeletal of the tree. And if you come around and look on this other side, you can see here, if I pull back the grass, that there's a large part of the tree that's exposed, almost 50% of it, where you can see the little tunnels where the peach borers actually went to town and did a lot of eating in there. And again, this is about over 2 years this has happened. Usually we don't let that happen to our trees. Well, what happened was the farm got very busy about 2 years ago in the spring, and we had different employees doing different things for us. So I didn't even have time to come up here and look at these trees very much. So we sent one of our crew members, and they did a pretty good job overall on all the other trees. This tree clearly got missed and didn't get done correctly. So when we came back the next season, the tree had done a lot of this growing and we knew we had a peach borer problem. In fact, last season we cleaned out, I believe it was 16 peach borers out from around the tree. I mean, they had really populated heavily around there over that season. And so at that point, we did the best we could for it, and we killed them all off, and we tried to repair everything, but I think the damage had mostly been done. It's like we see up on those scaffoldings, most of them didn't even make it through the spring and summer. They had died off long before they ever even produced peaches. If we're looking for some new borers, we might find one or two, which is normal to find a couple, 2 or 3, but to find 16 is not so normal. But it looks like we have one right in here. There's one right there. And that just shows you what a peach borer looks like. And he's not a very big one. He's just a small one, but they grow pretty quick because they start eating the peach stuff and it feeds them. So you can see him right there. And we'll probably just get rid of him, but we're not going to worry so much about cleaning out this tree right now of peach borers. And we have another video for that if you guys want to stop in and watch that video about how to clean them out the manual way. But we won't worry today too much about cleaning it out because we're probably going to cut this tree off right at the stump here. Now, if I was going to do something different, then I definitely would clean them out because I don't want these guys to get going strong. I want to keep them to a minimum. I don't want them to repopulate and spread to the other trees in our yard. Like I said, we have another 10 trees here that are still healthy, so we want to keep them that way. So thank you guys for taking a tour of the tree with us to look at all the different damages that occur when the peach borers get a good hold on your tree and what can happen. Please join us on the next video. We're going to hold a funeral service for this tree, and we're going to chop it down, and we're going to do it strategically, and we're going to talk about a few things that you might want to take into consideration on chopping down your peach tree in your yard.